everybody. It is your Uncle Fish back again for a School of Fish and Art stream. I apologize for being a few minutes late this morning. Had a few technical difficulties trying to get everything up and running and get all the different screens loaded. I tell you what your Uncle Fishy really needs. Your Uncle Fishy really needs a producer, somebody that could help him out and run half of this stuff, so I'm not trying to do it all by myself because I get my hands full. Come on, mouse. Where you at? That's the problem with having so many screens. Come on. Get on the right screen. I tell you, my computer has been giving me nothing but hassles lately. And this mouse is really just messing with me. Come on now. Probably also doesn't happen to help that this is the same room that I share. This is my grandbaby's room, so I get back in here and things are stickier than when I left them sometimes. One of the things I wanted to show off on the last stream when y'all were here, we were working on we created a brand new character off of the tables that I had done. Wow, this mouse is giving me nothing but trouble. And I put the line art up online because like Katie was watching the show and she was interested in coloring. So I put it up online for anybody that was interested in coloring. And check it out, man. Katie did an awesome job on this. I'm really impressed with the way it came out. Very, very similar to the color scheme that I ended up putting on it, as a matter of fact. Let me see. Pull up the right one here. Whoops, I closed it instead of opening it. Go figure, silly fishy. Let me get to the right file here before I click over to that screen. Where did I put it? I tell you, I'm all kinds of disorganized. There we go. Up. All right, and there we go. That is what I did with my version, which is really, really similar to what Katie did with hers. I am impressed by the similarities. Let's see. We can cut back here between the two. Yeah, I mean, very similar. I like the purple that she went with. It definitely kind of reads a little more shadow, I think, than the red of the suit that I gave her in this one. But I've got like a whole clan of ninjas that I have planned out on working with. So I got to tell you though, this is working with these wheels, man, and these random superpower generators with generating all of the random combinations from lists of superpowers that my friends have given me, that people have commented on videos or commented on my TikToks and stuff. Adding all that stuff together and getting these random lists of characters has had me come up. It's just been spurring so much imagination. I just can't help but keep rolling it. And then boom, I end up with this dude here. I'm calling Strong Arm for the moment. I know there's a Strong Arm at Marvel, but I don't really care. And I got multiple limbs and organic metal armor. I could have gone more traditional armor, but I like the metal skin look. I think that looks really cool. And you can't tell me this dude wouldn't be an extremely intimidating guy to have to come up against in a dark alley. Oh, but brothers and sisters, you think that's it? You think this is as weird as it gets? Oh no. I kept messing with it, with like groups of, 3 or 4 powers, see what I came up with. And then it spits out multiple limbs, puppet master, telepathy, and a mushy body. Okay. And I gotta tell you, it inspired me, baby. This is one of the creepier guys I have come up with, and he's just like a floating, mushy ball of brain and teeth and arms and drool, and I can just see him constantly like shoving things into his mouth, and the beady little eyes really creep me out. At first I was thinking like gigantic eyes, or I thought eyes all over the head, but then I was like, no, 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 no. Let's go in a direction that I don't usually go. Let's do something different. So I went with beady little eyes, which I think makes him even creepier. And all the nasty little, offset teeth. And, everybody's got a little bit of me in there. So he's even got my one recessed tooth that sticks in the back. And he has, wrinkles from my grandma's mouth. And, maybe sometimes I get a little drool. I'm not saying, maybe it happens. There's always some of me in there. Like Strong Arm. This dude, he might not look much like me, but that lump that you see on the front of almost every bald character's head that I do, that little lump that's right there, that was off my stepdad's head. It's just part of the massive clip art library of body parts and features and wrinkles and things, double jowls and whatnot, that have been collected in my head over the years. And I bring them and stick them into different characters in different places. And like that little lump on the head absolutely came from my stepdad, 100%. So, all right, we're going to close these out. We're going to take one more look there at Shadow Sparrow from Tuesday's show. And because the book I'm working on right now has so much stuff in it, I don't want to ruin anything by giving away too much. We're going to do another character creation right now. And we are going to open here. And we are going to save as. Because I went ahead and set up a page, and it's already got time lapse and everything recorded on it, so I don't have to forget. And then we're just going to save that as School of Fish. Episode 4. And now we have got a nice blank canvas to work from. But, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, what are we going to put on that canvas? I don't know. Let's look. All right, we're going to turn that off. And then we are going to come over to the Wheel of Powers. I've been kind of enjoying groups of 3, so I'm going to do that again this time. And let's see what we get. Gaseous form, subtitles. I'm really looking forward to doing subtitles. That was a ridiculous power that I want to say Chris Thomas gave me, but oh man, it's got to be right. It's got to be the right character. Generate force fields, mechanical genius, energy absorption. That's not bad, but that seems kind of generic. Shadow armor, control animal, activate fighter, flight, and others. Yeah, but we did shadow armor yesterday or Tuesday. Density manipulation, exopath, sense motives, air manipulation, puppet master. There we go again. Transmutation, polymorph powers from familiar. Sweats garlic. First time plant control, fire manipulation. High-tech weapons generation, familiar role, energy generation. All right, let's see. Let's roll for a familiar and see what we would get there. High-tech weapons, tiger. I'm seeing like a tiger that can generate weapons and stuff off of it. Yeah, man. I'm starting to see something there. Energy generation, high-tech weaponry. Dude. Man. Okay. All right. That's it. We got what we're doing, baby. All right. I have an idea where this is going now. All right. Good morning, J-Man. Glad you could pop in for a second. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Yeah, I know you'll work, man. I ain't holding nothing against you. Got to make that Skrilla. Got to make that cheddar, baby. I ain't hung up about it. Glad you could stop in and say, hey, man, it's always good to hear from you. Let's see. Let's look at some tigers for reference here. Images. Because we need like a really powerful looking tiger. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right. I think I can work with that. All right. So we're going to turn that screen off for y'all because I can look at it without y'all having to look at it. J-Man got to make those Benjamins so he can buy all them FSK books. You got that right, man. Got to keep old Fishy in business over here, man. Somebody's got to be buying these Green Zone books. And the variant covers and the t-shirts and the whatnots and the doodads. I'm moving too fast for my camera. It's getting all blurry on me. All right. Oops. Let me turn on my art screen so y'all can see what I was doing here. All right. Whoops. Old Fishy getting so old, he forgot he needs his glasses. Or he can't see what he's doing. Old men and their glasses. You know how it is. All right. I'm going to change the angle of this tiger a little bit so he's coming a little bit more right into screen. But you say, Fishy, how are we going to do a tiger and generating energy and creating, what was it, futuristic weapons, I think? Let me look again, just to make sure what it was. Yep, high-tech weapons. So yeah, that's futuristic. We are gonna make a robotic tiger, like a sentient AI battle tiger, a battle cat, if you will, that is designed to follow you into battle and help generate weapons. And this dangerous piece of tech has gotten loose and is now in the control of somebody that it probably shouldn't be. I'm thinking it would probably be cool if it was somebody young that had no business with this kind of thing, something that would terrify people, that this young person was in control of this tech. Obviously, we have to take that tech away from them, which would lead to all kinds of cool drama and that doesn't look like it's far enough back. I'm going to put his ears back because he's angry right now. And I don't want to pull, I don't want to pull a full-on He-Man here and it'd be too spot on to have somebody riding on his back, I think. So we'll have somebody just standing next to it. J-Man wants a Gatling gun on the end of his tail. Oh my goodness. That's an awful lot of weaponry to be swinging around on the end of a tail there. J-Man says the tail's where you put all the heavy artillery. Yeah. Said he used to have a howitzer on the end of his tail. Oh, come on. Man. Alright. Let's see. Save that. As is wont to happen with this thing sometimes, which is the one negative drawback to this tablet, is it's got limited, it's only got so much room on this tablet. And every once in a while, after I've been working on too much stuff, Clip Studio gets a little wonky sometimes and just says, no, I'm done. I'm not going to let the touchscreen communicate anymore. All right, let me see. What do I got to do here? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that screen real quick, and then I'm going to go back and share it again. All the joys of having to do this by yourself. Alright. Here we go. Alright, now I got my zoom back. It's a crazy little thing. It's a crazy little thing that I'm not crazy about, but it's just one of the things I've had to get used to with working on this thing. Every once in a while, it just says, no, we're going to quit working together. But I can close out and come right back, and all of a sudden, it works again. I hate it though. It slows me down. And, time is money. And I'm not known as the average speed guy of indie comics. Oh no, I'm known as the fastest. So, you gotta... Ooh! I just decided that this is definitely a kid. And I know what story I'm gonna put him in. Because I have a story with a teenage female protagonist that's gonna be coming up on there, probably not this year, but probably next year. Because I gotta get some more Green Zone told before I start spinning off all the side tales of Green Zone. But I have a female teenage protagonist that's traveling the globe, finding out who she is and running from people that want to use her powers and trying to find her dad and all this stuff, and comes up with a bunch of teenage runaways and stuff and people on the run. And this group right here would fit in perfectly. This would be an awesome group for her to... This would be an awesome addition to the group of teenagers that she runs into and cast of characters. Like that Aztec fish that I just sketched out on my TikTok when I rolled up random characters the other day. That is definitely going to show up in that book down the road. I'm thinking this cat's made of like living nanotech, which really, leads me to wonder how far could you take this and still have it read as a cat? That's an interesting question. Because we rolled up Tiger, but we're taking that inspiration and we're going far from the source material here. So, how far could we go and still have this read? Need big glowing vibroblade. Claws, of course, because we've got to be able to claw through a tank. Because if we can't, then what's the point? Ooh, we could make it a saber-tooth tiger too. There's no reason we can't, because it's not a real quote tiger. Let's see. Let's drop that transparency down a little bit and make another layer. Flip it a little bit, and let's see how far we can take this shape and still get it to read as a cat. Yeah, I probably need to get to talking, huh? So it's not just sitting around watching me draw. Can't make it boring now, can we, for the one viewer that we got? So, does anybody have any questions? Any questions about what it's like working on comics for a living? Where do I get my ideas from? Blah, blah, blah. What's it like being an artist with Tourette syndrome, Fishy? Oh, that's a lot of fun, you say. Yeah, it's fun randomly not being able to walk, talk, or see at any given point of the day. been doing a lot of interviews last year now. At least year. Pitching Green Zone and stuff, trying to get it out, get word out to as many people as possible, get new eyes on FSK books, trying to do my part. So I'm doing all these interviews, and every single one of them is essentially the same thing, asking the same questions about my life with Tourette syndrome. And it's not that your Uncle Fishy's not an open book, or that I'm not happy to talk about it, because I've always been an open book. What is up, Danny J. Quick? Glad to have you here. Glad you could join in. We rolled up some random powers, and let's see. Let me check. What do we get again? We got energy generation, high-tech weaponry, and a familiar. And so when we roll for the familiar, we got a tiger. And the more I thought about it, I decided that needs to be a robot tiger that this kid bonded with, some, sentient battle tiger nanobot creation, for the battlefield that got loose, and this kid bonded with it, and now he's its friend, and it does what he tells it to do, as they're both on the run from whatever organization built it and the law and whatnot, as this kid is running around with this deadly machine. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, man. If you've been missing the show, dude, you ought to watch it, man. Let me show you. I ended up taking suggestions from all my friends and viewers, and TikTok suggestions and comments on my Facebook posts, and I made these lists of superpowers. And I got this generator, and you just click like how many groups of how many powers you want or whatever, and it gives it to you. And we just went down until we found one we liked. I'm going to start rolling dice to pick like which one of these it is, but I got to paint my dice tower I made because, I'm trying to do this all myself. And so energy generation and having a cool familiar and high-tech weapon generation just sounded cool. So we ended up with that, and then I've got a roll for familiars. I've got a roll for accents and stuff to put onto people. Not like, voice accents, but like, say they're made of metal, which works real well for this tiger. Or power modifiers, just to keep it interesting when I'm bored or looking for new ideas. And power from an item embedded in their body. Oh man, that's what we gotta do, Danny. That's what we gotta do, Katie. Oh my God, yeah. That's why this kid is bonded with this tiger. That's it. Some little bit of tech got out into the world, and this kid, it's embedded in this kid, like say in his brain or something. And I'll turn that music down just a little bit. And it's embedded in his forehead or his chest or something, like you can't take it out without killing the kid. And that's the control link for this tiger. And it won't listen to anybody else but the person with that chip. And this kid is the one with it. And oh man, that's going to be so cool. Which gives you another threat point for this kid. Like, not only if they catch him, could he potentially go to jail, and they would take his best friend, the tiger, from him. But if they catch him, they're going to kill him because they got to get this chip out. So, like, now he's literally running for his life. And you've got this nanotech battle tiger that could have taken on any form, probably. Could have been a dog, could have been, whatever. Could have been a tank. But it took on the form of this tiger. And it can generate just about any weapon you could possibly want, any high-tech, crazy, freeze rays or whatever. Oh, it could probably even, if it could have took on the form of anything, it could probably also turn into a ride or a motorcycle or something for him. I don't want to do like a straight up riding around on Battle Cat kind of thing. But yeah. Oh, this is going to be cool. And I mentioned earlier, I've got just the story for this that's going to be focused on a female teenage protagonist as she's traveling from Central America to America, and all the people that she meets along the way, and all these runaways and stuff, and bunch of punk kids from bad homes that are out there trying to survive on their own and on the run from the law. And this kid would fit in amazingly in that group. Can you imagine how terrifying this kid would be at first glance with this freaking giant tiger? How do you even try and make introductions? Like, okay, I'm going to introduce you to my friend, but don't freak out. Okay? He's a giant robotic saber-toothed tiger that looks like he's going to eat you. And if you mess up, he probably will. So just be cool, okay? Just be cool, man. Had to put the Gatling gun in here for J-Man because, I didn't want to stick it on the tail. I'll admit it. I didn't want to do that. But the Gatling gun is a cool idea. So we'll stick it over here. And yeah, you were saying that's a cool page. It's flippity.net, I think, and you can go there and you can download the spreadsheet, and you can change whatever, you can change all the things in the spreadsheet. Like, it's originally designed, I think, for helping pick random lists of kids for stuff in school, like who's going to sit next to who on the bus, who's going to be in the seating chart, who has to sit next to who's going to be on the science fair project together, that kind of thing. But you can change all the settings in there and make it a list of whatever you want it to be. So, and you can change the title of it and make, one that's power modifiers, and one that's a list of superpowers, and one that's a list of animal familiars to roll from, and just whatever you want it to be. It's really cool. And it'll do wheels, it'll do random generations, it'll split them all up into groups of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, or split them all into 2 teams or whatever. Like I said, it's really designed for, I think, organizing kids in school, but it works great for whatever you want it to be, and it makes a cool looking wheel for the show. That is coming out really neat. No, that didn't. And I'm thinking, whoops, turned off the wrong one. I'm thinking all of these patches are going to be like just circuitry, like just living bioorganic circuitry, nanobots flexing their muscle, running around. Oh, cool. Just got back from walking the dogs and getting back to coloring again while you watch. That's awesome. Oh, and I showed off your picture earlier, and it really surprised me, like just how similar our color schemes were. But then when you're going for like Shadow Ninjas, like how far are you going to go with that? But I loved your purple tones to it. Came out really cool. Came out really cool. Big fan. All right. Now, my next question. This teenager. Now, the main teenager in the book that the story's following is a girl. And definitely, I've already got some other, teenage girls planned for in there. So, should we make this a teenage boy? Make it a possible, passing fancy on her travels north? I think that might be cool. Yeah, you definitely have to go back and check it out. I would show it again, but I've already had my Clip Studio kind of lock up on me once, and so I'm gonna be more careful about how much giant files I'm keeping loaded at one time, because it has a habit of getting overloaded, and then my screen doesn't want to work anymore. All right, let's see. What do I want this kid's look to be? If he's on the run all the time, I'm thinking probably hoodie. Plus, man, kids in hoodies now. Hoodie is such a weird thing. Like, I thought they looked so dumb when I was a kid. And anybody that walked around with their hood up was a dork back then. And now it's like scary. And like, oh no, he's got a hoodie. Like, which is silly. Still looks kind of silly to me, but it's just become this thing. Like, everybody wears it now. Thinking like one of these days he's going to have a square jaw, but for right now it's still a little rounded off. I'm going to give him what is up, Fee? Good to see you. Yeah, I finally figured out how to add music on here. I finally figured out what that little plus is for at the bottom of the screen. That's what I figured out. Yeah, I didn't have to look that up. No. I wanted to give him a little bit fuller lips, but that kind of makes him look a little bit too girly. But maybe that's good for this character. We're going to leave it for now. Like I said, Uncle Fishy ends up in all of his stuff somewhere. And as a young man, when you're trying to be all macho and you're trying to be all cool, grow up to be a tough guy, having full pouty lips was something I was very embarrassed by. Oh man, you've been down for the count, huh? I'm sorry, man. It's been a rough week for me too. I literally could not see or speak most of the day yesterday. It was brutal. My Tourette's was so bad. I actually wasn't 100% sure I was going to be able to make it on the show today, which is, one of the wonderful things about living with a chronic disability like Tourette syndrome is I never know when I'm going to have a good day or a bad day. And when all of a sudden the dogs are up all night barking and you can't get any sleep, suddenly you having a very bad day. And anything can set it off. It doesn't have to be something I did wrong. It doesn't have to be I forgot to take my meds or I, didn't get sleep. It could be, a stressful job. It could be other people bringing their stress into the situation. And now my anxiety's up and I'm stressed out. I don't know why. I just like the idea of this kid wearing big old work gloves. I'm going to say it's because he's worried about leaving fingerprints. That's what I'm going to say. Oh, don't feel bad for me, Fee. Don't cry for me, Argentina. That's just part of old life, old Fishy. This is the joy of being a ticky old man with Tourette syndrome. Yeah, my brain runs super fast and makes me super creative, and I can knock out ideas like this out of nowhere in minutes. And sometimes I'm ticking too bad to be able to feed myself or get to the bedroom by myself. Little Katie from the UK says, I was up for at least 18 hours yesterday. I felt like a zombie when I was on Chat and Draw. It ended at 3 a.m. for me. Oh, bless your heart. Yeah, I can't do that. Nuh-uh. That's one of the things I learned with my Tourette's that I have to keep a tight grip on is I've got to get sleep. I have got to manage my sleep well and guard it like a precious commodity, because if I don't, I will pay for it. And that is one of the many things that I found out from after I got diagnosed at 30 and started meeting other people with Tourette syndrome and stuff. They helped me learn, stuff they had learned over the years because, they got diagnosed a lot earlier than me, and things they had picked up from other people and stuff. And absolutely. And getting plenty of sleep, eating regularly, those kind of things all turned out to be huge problems for me, and part of the reason that I was making it harder on myself than I realized. That, and the biggest thing I learned to do was learning to ride the waves instead of fight the ocean, which is an analogy I use all the time for the Tourette's. But when my nerves are burning like lightning and I know the tics are coming, I used to try and fight against it and fight as hard as I could to stay still. I can do it. I can fight this off. It's my body and I'm in control. And the more I would try and fight it off, the more the tics would build until eventually I'm thrashing on the ground and I can't see and I can't speak. And I look like I'm having a seizure and I'm just sitting there thrashing for a half hour. And it was brutal. And I couldn't get anywhere without crutches or a wheelchair for 15 years. But I learned if I relax and I learn to surf those waves and I let those tics go through and come out and be done, I might yell out something stupid. I may make dumb faces, but that tic is through and it's gone and it doesn't build up into this big giant thing. And that's been very helpful for me personally. I got sick in between interviews with Victor yesterday. Oh, bless your heart. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go back and watch those. I didn't get a chance to watch them yesterday because, like I said, I was having a rough day yesterday. But Vic's my dude. I'm a big fan of his. I gotta say, let's see what that looks like with that. You know, normally I would take another crack at that, but I think I can fix this up and make it good enough. Not perfect, but pretty good. And I'd like to get onto the coloring. So I think the coloring is where this is really going to get to shine. And I haven't been able to do that yet on the art stream because I've been spending so much time going back and redoing doing another layer of pencils and then the inks that I haven't been able to get there yet. And I want to do that. So, all right, reference layer. Whoops, that's not what I meant. Make a new layer there. We are going to select everything outside of this figure. Looks like we got it all. Then we're going to invert that and we're going to make it gray and paint. And we're going to double check. Oh, there's some place we didn't get. All right. Looks like everything else got. Oh, here's a little bit of his tail didn't get got. There we go. Oh, there's another little bit of your tail, tiger boy. Can't be walking around with nicks at your tail, tiger boy. That's no good for a robot tiger. No. That's the kind of stuff that happens to a comic book tiger, not a big old tough robot tiger. Alrighty. Let's see. I'm going to make that a lighter gray and paint it. Okay, that's a nice base. And I'm thinking a nice dark purple for the nanite stuff to start with. Just because that's what I see in my brains. Whoops. Didn't want to get that tiger toe. No. Come on, tiger toe. Let's go back to gray. Silly old tiger toes. Always doing silly tiger toe things. That's an interesting question. Did I suspect I had Tourette's before I was diagnosed? Absolutely not. Because I had been seeing the best neurologist in town. Just ask him, he'll tell you. I had been seeing the best neurologist in town for years, and he had guaranteed me repeatedly that, it's not MS because I don't have lesions on my brain, and it's not Huntington's because I don't have the markers in my blood for that. And it's obviously not Tourette syndrome because I don't cuss or bark like a dog. And you gotta cuss or bark like a dog to have Tourette's, he says. And then, years later, after I've given up, and he like a million other doctors, have told me that I'm faking it for attention for some reason. After he had long given up on me, and I had given up on ever getting an answer, and my ex-wife's about to leave me, which God, kind of wish she had of then. One of the local weathermen does a special about Tourette syndrome on the news and comes out and tells everybody that he has Tourette's, and everybody at church hits me up and is like, Fish, you've got Tourette syndrome. This guy on TV looks just like you. And he explained it. I was like, no, I don't have Tourette's because I don't cuss and bark like a dog. And they said, no, you don't have to. Just go online and watch it. He explains everything. And I'll be danged if this guy didn't look just like me. He's a big old fat dude with a beard, and he's just sitting in his chair just thrashing and jerking around just like I did at the time. And thank you. And he explained that Tourette syndrome, wasn't just a cussing disease. It was a neurological disease that you're born with. It's not bad parenting or anything like that. And it's basically just misfires in your brain. And, he explained it the way I explain it to people now, that essentially, your brain's a computer, and the insulation on the wiring in my brain is a little bit thin, and signals very easily jump from one line to the other. So something that might be a passing thought or a random connection of, thoughts in your subconscious can accidentally shoot right out your mouth. Or, random impulses can shoot out to your face and make you make faces. And I'm going to get ticking more and more the more I talk about this. So anyway, I go see a new neurologist, and this dude diagnoses me right as he walks in the door. I still wasn't so sure, but he's like, how long have you had Tourette syndrome? I was like, I don't. He's like, oh, yes, you do, buddy. And he sent me to a specialist in Texas, and she said the same thing when I walked in the door. There was no question that this is what it was. And boom, I had an answer. And we walked away. We drove away from that specialist office. I'm thrashing in the passenger seat, whacking my head into the window. And my ex-wife is weeping because all she heard is that it's incurable and it's never going to go away. And I'm laughing as I'm whacking my head into the window because all I heard is, sure, this might be the worst case that the specialist has ever seen, but that just means it can't get any worse and you're not dying. Because up until this point, we thought I was dying. And, I was treating every day with my kids like I wasn't going to be here next year. And so I'm like, hell yeah, I could do this. If I got to spend the rest of my life thrashing around in a wheelchair, no problem. I got it. I could be here for my kids. I can still be a friend. I can, go to church. I can be helpful in some way. I'll find a way to be helpful. And I ended up spending the next several years becoming a Tourette's advocate because even though a whole lot of the time, I got to just turn this off for a second. Even though a whole lot of that time, ooh, I'm fuzzy. Camera, are you as blind as I am? Come on, camera. Focus on a fishy here. Anyway, where was I at? I forgot. Oh, yeah. Even though most of the time I might only be able to see out of one eye, and I might only be able to have one thumb that would work some days, and otherwise I was just thrashing, and I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't drive to town. I couldn't get on the phone and talk to anybody because I couldn't speak. But if I could get my phone in my hand with that one thumb, I could traverse Facebook. I could go all over the world. I could talk with people. And I spent all day long online talking to people, encouraging them, counseling parents that just got diagnosed that their kid had Tourette's and they thought their life was over. I was like, no, your kid's just going to be extra awesome. This is cool. They're going to be super creative. They're going to have amazing reflexes. They're going to be super smart. And they're probably going to make, a great athlete and great musician and a great actor and all kinds of other things that we excel at. We might not excel at, like, say, being a librarian, but we do all kinds of other stuff really great. And absolutely, having answers for what it was meant the world. I knew I wasn't dying. I knew there were other people in the world like me. The more I studied it, the more I saw people that looked just like me. And now I'm not the only weirdo in the world that goes, there's all kinds of people out there. What is up, my buddy Kyron? Good to see you, man. Welcome up bright and early over there on your side of the country. This is what's happening over here. What's happening in your neck of the woods, Kyron? We're going to cut to you now. Hope you're ready for camera. But yeah, so even if I only had one thumb that would work and one eye open, I could go online and I could talk to people around the world. And so I spent all my time becoming an advocate, lifting people up, and it was amazing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was really cool times. And the more people I met and the more I learned how to live with my Tourette's and surf the waves and not fight against it so much. And that made my life. I'm always never ready for camera over here, he says. Kyron's always not ready. Come on. You're so awesome, Fishy. Oh, thank you. But you already knew that, Fee. Oh, younger Fishy gotta play. That's how I spend all day, is playing. Y'all don't think I'm working for a living over here. No, I'm playing. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Yeah, I tried to get Sean on here, but everything's a little too early for him because he's on your side of the country, not on our side of the country, which I ain't holding against him. I like Sean. Sean's my boy, but you know, it's a tough time difference, though. It really is. That's a big leap. And like when I'm doing my show, he's already got to be at work, and we're doing 5-Star Fridays. He's still at work. You want to come on and talk for a minute, Karen? Come on, talk about your book. I'll send you a link if you want to. Yeah, well, I tried to get him on there, but he can't make it in time. I'll tell you what, where's Facebook at? Here it is. That was loud in my ears. Here, right now, it's 11:09. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'm supposed to be off. So my grandbabies can come take a nap. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I didn't realize. Yeah, it's been an hour. I'm supposed to be moseying on off of here so my grandbabies can come take a nap. And I'm trying to be compassionate to their schedule because that makes it easier for me to keep making this work long term. So, all right. I guess I've gotten about as far as I'm going to get on color in this today. But I will wrap it up and I'll post it online so you guys can see. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. And Kyron, if you want to get up early and come on Tuesday with me, you can talk about y'all's Kickstarter while Sean's at work, and we can hang out and chat about it and see if we can get a couple extra people to go out there and take a look at it. Thank you guys for coming out. Like I said, I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys Tuesday morning. Peace out.